Welcome back, you're watching Overdrive. Now, Ducati claim the Supersport 950 is the most user-friendly, fully fed motorcycle they have ever built. In fact, they also say you can ride this motorcycle without any fuss all day on the roads. Now, is there any truth to this claim? Let's find out.
Hey guys, so we're out here today to test out the 2023 Ducati Supersport 950S. Now this is a motorcycle that the company claims is its most user-friendly, fully fed sports motorcycle that it has in its arsenal to date. In fact, that they say that you can ride this motorcycle on a daily basis without any fuss. So if you wanted a motorcycle from the Ducati stable that was a little sportier, say, than the Monster series of bikes, but not as aggressive as the Panigale series of motorcycles, well, the Supersport series is the one that you should be looking at. Now, is there any truth to that claim? Well, there's one way to find out. The Supersport S has all the typical Ducati flair that you would expect. It's got those neat design cues that pay homage to the Panigale V4, like that sharp face with those stern-looking LEDs and the neat-looking little winglets. The fairing on the 2023 model covers most of the mechanicals, and while it may not be as much of a visual delight as the bigger, sportier Panigale series, it is supposed to help disperse heat better than the before, while keeping things nice and tidy on the visual front. And it does just that. It's one of those Ducati bikes that wouldn't be complete without the exposed trellis frame and that ever so sumptuous single-sided swing arm. Looks very nice and compact in profile. In the flesh, one might even mistake this motorcycle for a smaller capacity bike. In terms of its features, the Supersport S gets a thicker, fully adjustable Öhlins fork up front and a monoshock at the rear over the standard model's Marzocchi and Sachs units. In true Ducati fashion, it comes packed with a 6-axis IMU which detects the roll, yaw and pitch angles of the bike. The Supersport S gets a full TFT color display, which is nice, but then again it doesn't get Ducati's multimedia system or Bluetooth connectivity. So if that's your thing, you'll have to shell out for that separately. Two of the best features of this bike have to be its slipper clutch and the bi-directional quick shifter. Both these bits feel fantastic to employ on a daily basis, not only on open highways, but the former also makes life a lot easier in city traffic. Alright, so not only does the 950 Supersport look like a real gem out on the road, but it really has the go to show as well. Now, powering this motorcycle is Ducati's 937cc L-twin Testastator motor. Well, it's the same engine that powers the Ducati Monster, the Hypermotard and the 950 Multistrada. Now, the engine puts down a maximum power of around 110 PS, and you have 3 modes to fiddle around with. Different engine map settings as well. In sport, well, that's the most fun mode you'd really want to be in, because, well, this motor just loves to be revved. From 3000 all the way up to 9000 is just so smooth, linear. This bike just pulls so cleanly. It feels like a thorough Ducati all throughout. It really feels like you could ride this bike all day. Except for maybe if you're in Mumbai and it's the peak of summer, because these kind of riding conditions don't really favor any sort of Italian sports motorcycle. This one too tends to heat up quite a bit, and if you're stuck in a jam, you'll want to pull over and stop to give her a breather if you don't fancy your thighs getting cooked. But as soon as you're back up and running, you'll see the engine temperature readout on the dash drop quite fast, which I must admit was mildly reassuring. It won't be long before you're holding onto gears while creating some lovely tunes from those sweet cut-short twin pipes. The best part about this bike and the way it's set up is that you don't really have to ride fast to feel comfortable. The ergonomics will have you hunched forward with some weight on your palms, but it's surprisingly comfortable. Something that makes the Supersport 950S comfortable and easy to manage out on the road, well, first and foremost is the seat. Now at 810 mm of seat height, as you can see, swinging a leg to get over, fairly easily manageable. And for my 5'9" frame, well, getting my feet flat on the ground at both sides of the motorcycle, very manageable as well. Shorter riders will find this to be quite convenient for a Ducati motorcycle. And of course, this is the 950S, so it gets adjustable Öhlins suspension at both ends. And of course, in this stock setting, well, it is on the softer side. Well, taking on corners, braking hard, loading up the front, getting into a corner at speed, well, it does feel a little twitchy at times, and if you wanted it more sport focused, you will definitely want to dial in some stiffness at either end of this motorcycle.
Now, traditionally, Ducatis are not bikes that are meant to dish out large dollops of comfort, but this one surprisingly does that. Ducati sports bikes are meant to be fast, fun and exciting. Not only to ride but to look at as well, and the Supersport S definitely ticks off all those three boxes. Now, if you have the right tools and the skill set to match, you can definitely sharpen and raise the bar of potential on this one. In every sense, the Supersport S gives you the feeling that you are riding a proper Ducati sports bike. It isn't vibe free, but still, it gives you that solid feeling whenever you lay your hands on its bars. It roars to life every time you fire it up, and that is a little spectacle in itself. You can feel the engine working its magic between your legs when you ring the throttle, and that lovely tubular chassis, the way it holds it all together, is just brilliant. Like the older Ducatis, it has a nice, slightly raw, powerful feel to it, which is awesome. But it blends that with the tech well, giving you a good margin of safety in tricky situations. It feels special, this one.
It is a very fun and enjoyable motorcycle, very comfortable once again, and given its price tag, it certainly feels like a thoroughbred Ducati through and through.
Well, I'm hoping our review has been able to tell you whether you should put your money on this motorcycle or not. We'll be back after a very short break to tell you all about the Tata Altroz iCNG. Stay with us, you're watching Overdrive.